You know, the most devastating weapon of the Social Security suspension scam isn't some high-tech gadget or a super clever script. It's fear. Specifically, the fear of losing your final financial lifeline. They've weaponized our own psychology against us, turning that deep need for security into the very tool of our own ruin.
Okay, let's really dive into this, because if you understand this one sentence, you're pretty much immune. These criminals aren't just making phone calls, they're running a highly structured psychological operation. It's designed to completely bypass your rational mind. So in this explainer, we're going to forensically deconstruct that entire system. We're going to pull it apart piece by piece, not to scare you, but to arm you. By the end, you'll see the architecture of this manipulation so clearly that you can build an unshakable defense against it, for you and for everyone you care about.
So here's our game plan. First, we'll look at the emotional weapon they use. Then, we'll trace the anatomy of the attack, step by step. We're going to pinpoint the single most important tactic they use to keep control, what I call the psychological choke point. We'll break down exactly why it works so well, and finally, we'll lay out the clear, non-negotiable protocol for defense. Let's get started.
To really get the scam, we have to start at its foundation. You see, this isn't random. This is a calculated, systematic targeting of people's financial stability is profoundly tied to their Social Security. The scammers are literally hunting for a specific emotional vulnerability, dependency. They're looking for people where that monthly check isn't just income, it's survival. It's the roof over their head, it's their medication. This deep personal reliance, that's ground zero for the entire attack.
Now, what's fascinating here is how all these pieces create a perfect storm. The target is often the 60-plus demographic, not because they're less smart, but because they're more likely to have this deep dependency. The psychological trigger they pull is what you'd call existential anxiety. I mean, this isn't just worry, it's that raw, primal fear that your entire world is about to collapse. And they kick the whole thing off by exploiting something called the authority heuristic. It's our brain's natural tendency to trust people who sound official. It's a mental shortcut that usually helps us, but they completely weaponize it against us.
Okay, so let's get into the mechanics. This is not some rambling, improvised chat. It's a rapid-fire, high-pressure system with very distinct, rehearsed phases, and it's all designed to overwhelm you before you even have a chance to think. Think of it as an assembly line of fear, engineered to move a person from calm to total compliance as fast as humanly possible.
You know, the attack actually begins before the scammer even says hello. They use this technology called VoIP spoofing, and all that really means is they can make any number they want pop up on your caller ID. It might say Social Security Administration, it might even show the real SSA phone number. And this simple little trick is devastatingly effective because it's designed to neutralize your first line of defense, your own skepticism. Your brain sees that official-looking number and it immediately gives the caller a level of authority they absolutely have not earned. The door is now wide open.
So the whole attack unfolds in 3 predictable phases. It's like a playbook. First, initiation, where they use that spoofed call to grab authority. Second is escalation, where they flood your system with fear and cut you off from any help. And finally, extraction. That's when they take the money. If you can recognize these stages as they're happening, you can break their script and take back control. Let's break each one down.
All right, so in the initiation phase, the scammer, who's posing as an agent, just manufactures this urgent, terrifying crisis out of thin air. They'll say something like, "Your Social Security number was found at a crime scene in Texas," or "We've detected suspicious activity and your benefits are suspended immediately." And right there, that is the crucial moment. This made-up crisis is designed to do just one thing: send you into a state of pure, unthinking panic. Your analytical mind just freezes and your emotional mind completely takes over.
And now we hit the escalation phase. Right when your panic is at its absolute peak, the scammer suddenly offers a lifeline. The very person who created the problem now pretends to be the only solution. And here's where the manipulation flips. They'll say the only way to protect your money is to immediately withdraw your savings and convert them into something untraceable, which, bizarrely, almost always means gift cards. The demand is always urgent, it's always weird, and it's always positioned as your only path to safety.
Now we've arrived at the single most important tactic in this entire system. This is the linchpin that holds the whole scam together. Everything else we've talked about, the fear, the authority, the urgency, it all leads to this moment. To maintain control and to stop you from thinking clearly or asking for help, the scammer has to enforce total, unbroken isolation.
And this is the lock on that virtual cage. The scammer will use these direct, powerful threats to keep you on the phone. This is a federal investigation. You are legally required to stay on the line. Or maybe, if you hang up, a warrant will be issued for your arrest. But the most potent threat of all is this one. If you hang up, your benefits are permanently canceled. That threat goes right for the jugular, targeting that existential fear we talked about, making you terrified of the one single action that could actually save you, just hanging up the phone.
This is the psychological choke point. The scammer's entire goal is to create this closed loop of information and emotion. By keeping you on the line with non-stop chatter, high-pressure language, and urgent demands, they just overload your ability to think straight. They know that if you hang up the phone, the spell is broken, the fear starts to fade, and their whole scam collapses in an instant. They have to keep you in that bubble.
So we've seen the mechanics, but why is this so lethally effective? I mean, why do smart, rational people fall for something that sounds so crazy from the outside? Well, the answer has nothing to do with intelligence. It's about exploiting these predictable little glitches in our psychology. The scammer is just pushing buttons that are hardwired into all of our brains.
So here's how these 4 levers work together. First, that authority heuristic gets them past your initial defenses. Then, the fear conditioning hijacks your emotions. This leads directly to cognitive overload. When your brain is flooded with fear, the rational, slow, analytical part of your brain just shuts down. You're forced into what they call System 1 thinking, fast, instinctive, emotional reactions. You're not thinking anymore, you're just reacting to survive. And finally, that isolation effect makes sure you stay trapped in that panic state with no chance for your rational brain to come back online. It's a perfectly engineered trap for the human mind.
Let's just look at this side by side. On the left, that's the mindset the scammer works so hard to create. It's all panicked compliance. He sounds official. I have to do what he says. This is an emergency. I have to act now. Now look at the right. This is the defender's mindset. It's not based on emotion, it's based on protocol. It replaces panic with facts. The SSA communicates by mail, not by panic. It replaces urgency with skepticism. An urgent demand for money is a universal red flag. And most importantly, it flips the script from "I must stay on the line" to "I must hang up to verify this." This is the mental shift that changes everything.
Okay, let's pivot to the solution. And I want to be crystal clear here. This isn't just good advice. This is a mandatory protocol. It's a simple evidence-based response that, if you follow it without hesitation, makes you completely immune to this attack. Think of it like a fire drill. You don't get creative, you just follow the procedure because it's proven to work under pressure.
So I want you to really think about this. After everything we've broken down, the psychology, the isolation, the fear, what is the one single action that completely dismantles their entire machine? What's the one move the scammer is terrified you're going to make?
The answer is mandatory disconnection. You have to hang up the phone. It is the only way. It is a non-negotiable, immediate act of defiance. By disconnecting, you break the isolation. You starve the scammer of control, you instantly stop the cognitive overload, and you give your rational brain the space it needs to reboot. Hanging up isn't rude. In this context, it is a strategic act of self-preservation. It's the most powerful move you can possibly make.
So here it is, the protocol, in 2 incredibly simple, actionable steps. First, hang up immediately. Don't argue, don't say, "I think you're a scammer," don't try to get the last word in. Just press the end call button. That's it. Step 2, verify independently. This is key. It means you initiate the next call. You look up the official verified number for the Social Security Administration and you call them directly.
And this is the number, 1-800-772-1213. But listen, never trust a number given to you by some random caller. Don't call back the number on your caller ID. Find this number yourself on the official SSA.gov website, or better yet, write it down and keep it near your phone. This is your lifeline back to reality. And when you call this number, a real agent will confirm what you already know, that the entire crisis was a complete fabrication.
Let's just boil this all down to one core strategic principle. This is the fundamental truth that cuts through all the lies. Legitimate government agencies, especially the SSA, communicate important stuff through official mail. They do not operate through panic. They will never cold call you with threats of immediate arrest or demands for payment in gift cards. That combination, urgency, threat, and a weird payment method, is the absolute, undeniable signature of a scam. Every single time.
So, I want to leave you with a simple, protective mantra. A phrase you can memorize and repeat to yourself or to a loved one if you're ever in this situation. Just say this: the SSA never calls you for a fine. Hang up and verify. Say it out loud. It's short, it's true, and it contains the entire defense protocol in 9 simple words. It's your emergency shutdown command for the fear program the scammer is trying to run in your head. We've just deconstructed this entire system, from the psychological weapon they use to the mandatory defense that makes you immune. You have the blueprint now. You can see the trap before it's even sprung. So the final question is this. Now that you can dismantle the system for yourself, can you use this knowledge to inoculate the people you care about? Share this explainer. Have the conversation. Talk about the psychological choke point. Explain the mandatory disconnection rule. Because the best defense against a weaponized lie is a shared, calmly spoken truth.